In a world bound in glass, lit by a single flame, past an empty page, I am a hand holding a pen, an icy window, an open field, a loping coyote, a perched owl, a plume of smoke rising almost invisible in the far horizon. A propane lamp hisses our silence into dark corners of the room. The quilt around your shoulders is to me not unlike a dancer's veil. A cold wind races the empty street. Moonlight glazes the rusted fenders of my old Ford, and they shine like chrome. And I see you are an open field, a hungry coyote running the emptiness for home, an owl peering down from her branch, dusting the blanket of snow from her wings, descending to earth.
Wow.
And this actually I wrote in a poetry class that I taught at Jefferson, and it's called, this is maybe a poetry exercise for you guys too, an ekphrastic work.
Oh, yeah.
You might have done something like that, something inspired off of another work of art. And I took this famous painting by Bruegel, The Fall of Icarus, as kind of my inspiration, but then setting it someplace real and making it about something personal. So this is called After the Last Peach Has Fallen. After the last peach has fallen, I walk on past the furthest row of sunflowers, their faces cast to the earth, pockmarked, supplicant, stricken. I can feel your eyes on my back. You expect me to return very soon. After I have licked my wounds, towed it to dirt, collapsed my shoulders in surrender, I know what you're thinking. So I keep walking under the sun, exploding in the background like Bruegel's. And I am Icarus falling. And you are the plowman going on with his plowing. And the world is a place of doers, baptizing visionaries in fire, in oils as heavenly as Bruegel could brush into being. I'd like to return to an uncorked bottle of that wine you were saving for your father. A crust of bread or two, a little candle in the window, something unexpected, I don't know, surprised me. Something from the radio, maybe Neil Young's Long May You Run. Something to bury this mood I can't hide from you. You who know it in the way I walk on past the furthest row of sunflowers. Maybe one more?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like overly committed.
This one, I just picked this one out of the pile today because yesterday I was watching TV and there's this show called American Pickers, and they go around and look through people's junk and buy it, and architectural salvage and stuff like that. But they mentioned this wrestler that actually kind of inspired a poem, because we used to kind of pretend when I was a kid, way back in the old days, pretty much all that was on was like wrestling and cartoons. And you didn't have a lot to choose from. So we used to watch wrestling on Saturdays. And there was a wrestler called Baron the Claw von Raschke. And my dad was always Baron the Claw von Raschke, because he had, I didn't inherit them from him, but he had these big hands, and he would grab me by the head, and that was the Claw's killer move. Make you submit and bend your knee before him with his terrible claw. But what really struck me to inspire the poem was he was still wrestling way past his physical prime. I mean, way past. He was basically an old man with this like ridiculously large, strong hand, and bald, and I mean, he really, I don't think he had teeth either, but it was really kind of a sad scene. But I kind of imagined him traveling on a train, and me being on the train and seeing him and wanting to come up to him. And it's called The Claw. Ex-wrestler Baron the Claw von Raschke caught the 10:45 train for Omaha, heading home after a farewell match, 20 years past his prime. I squint to fuzz my sight and see him as I did when I was 10, in the center of a darkened ring, breathing heavily from his muscular grandfather belly, bald as a loon, screaming vague obscenities, raising his indomitable open hand in the air before his baby face, his hapless opponent drawn to it, arms flailing behind the blockhead like flying banners. As I wobble to the dinner car, tender on wine, I catch the Baron folded in a sleeper, his hands mammoth as ever, cradling the broken spine of a soft-covered Guinness Book of World Records he presses to his cheek. His child eyes red, bracketed by crow's feet, banked low under a berg of wrinkles, his frame monkish, declining. I've just spilled from my seat, my eyes still swimming in the album image that Mom framed for me of Dad rowing us to shore. His legs angle for leverage, his forearms work the awkward oars before a jaw that becomes a prow against the white caps hammering the bow. And I fish my father's profile from the Baron's hoary face. Dad's outstretched Sunday claw seized my head and kept a reel to bridge remote that grew between us till he broke his back on Monday morning shipping wares. I wish he had appeared to me somehow other than I had found him, crumpled to a dim slab, dangling from the savage eyes of a child.